Atlanta News First Plus starts now.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Gervier Dinza. I hope you're getting used to the new us. You know, we are no longer affiliated with CBS. We are an independent television station, so anytime you turn us on, you are going to find what you need, stories that are impacting you in your community. That all began on Saturday. Today was our first full day to do that here on Atlanta News First in the morning show. We started at 4 this morning. We went on until 10, and then, of course, our noon show is going to be expanded as well from noon to 1. We'll talk much more about that, of course, throughout the morning. I want to get you caught up on some of the stories that are making headlines today, and we do have breaking news coming in. So many of you have asked how in the world you can pay your respects to Officer David Rose. He, of course, was a Dekalb County police officer who was shot and killed at the CDC in that terrible shooting on August 8th. And we are getting this breaking information coming into our newsroom today that Dekalb County has announced that there will be a public memorial service for Officer David Rose. It'll take place Friday, August 22nd at 11 in the morning. It'll take place at First Baptist Church, Atlanta. And for those of you that are familiar with that church, it's a very big church that can accommodate a lot of people, because I'm certain that so many people that didn't even know David Rose, are expected to attend. And the service is going to be open to the public. Let me give you the address real quick. It's, again, First Baptist Church, Atlanta, 4400 North Peachtree Road in Dunwoody. And so, again, that memorial service for David Rose going to take place this Friday, the 22nd of August. David Rose, of course, the girl that went to the shooting at the CDC. He leaves behind a wife and 2 children. He's pregnant with a third child. There continues to be a growing number of survivors outside the Centers for Disease Control near where he was shot while responding to an active shooter. Again, that happening on Friday, August 8th. And over the weekend, there was a 5K run. It was Atlanta's finest 5K, and proceeds from that benefiting David Rose's family. Our Don Shipman was there, and he has the latest.
It was a run to remember in downtown Atlanta as organizers of the annual Atlanta's Finest 5K dedicated this year's event to fallen Dekalb County officer David Rose.
That's a very terrible situation.
Runner Felicia Merritt says a 5K isn't just about training, it's about building community. And this year, she says, you could feel the weight of it.
Everything that we can do to bring awareness and treat our officers with respect, that's what we need to do.
Officer Rose was killed just over a week ago while responding to a shooting at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. He leaves behind his wife, 2 children, and another on the way.
As 3 children will grow up without a father, they won't grow up alone. The community will help raise them.
It's just another reminder of, the risks, the sacrifices that law enforcement officers give for their community every day.
A portion of the proceeds from the race, more than $40,000, will go directly to the Rose family. Runners like Maudrey Lofton and the police say events like this unite Atlanta's more than 240 neighborhoods. Everyday citizens running shoulder to shoulder with the protectors in a high-energy show of support.
Very exciting. The energy is great, frequency is great, so I'm ready to get my sweat on.
Sometimes it's a critical call, sometimes it's a sad moment, but here today it's joy.
In downtown Atlanta, Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.
Meanwhile, the suspected shooter, Patrick White of Kennesaw, his father, is speaking exclusively with Atlanta News First. Police believe that Patrick White broke into his father's safe and stole the guns that were allegedly used in this massive shooting at the CDC. His father speaking again exclusively with us, and here's what he had to say.
We thought they were safe. I locked them up. I kept the key on my person 24/7. I slept with it.
And you can watch that interview Again, an exclusive interview with the suspected shooter's father tonight at 7 only on Atlanta News First. Much more on that interview. All right, let's talk a little bit more. Something that most of us probably, maybe some of you did not know about First Lady Rosalind Carter. Today would be her 98th birthday, and to commemorate that, Georgia's own credit union is honoring Mrs. Carter with a tribute on top of its building all day today. You know that Georgia's own does that quite often with some of our hometown folks, and today it is all in celebration of Mrs. Carter. The Carters, of course, grew up and met and moved back to Plains after former President Jimmy Carter's term ended in Washington. One of Mrs. Carter's passions was revitalizing migration routes for monarch butterflies. So today is the 4th annual Butterfly Days taking place in her memory.
I think it's wonderful that this area, this region, we have people coming in from all over the country too, are able to set aside just a few days to celebrate not just her legacy as a former First Lady, but her legacy as a person.
And there is that, of course, the lovely couple that all of Georgia can certainly celebrate. Speaking of the couple, the U.S. Postal Service unveiled a forever stamp honoring the late former President Carter over the weekend. It held a commemorative special revealing Saturday morning at the Jimmy Carter National Historic Park in Plains. The stamp is based on a 1982 oil-on-linen painting done in preparation for President Carter's official White House portrait, and you can buy these stamps in Atlanta starting October 1st. That would have been President Carter's 101st birthday, so a lot to celebrate here. The weather, that's something we might be able to celebrate today because even though it's hot, we're not seeing any rain out there. But it looks like we've got some First Alert weather days headed our way. First Alert meteorologist Rodney Harris has been tracking all of that, and he's here now to talk more about it.
And good morning to you, Gavir. Hope everybody's having a good start to their work week, good start to your Monday. There is a live look over Midtown Atlanta. I tell you what, it's going to be a really good day today. We do have some isolated storms in your forecast, Gavir, but we're used to that this time of year. It's summertime. But, yeah, that's a remarkable shot there, mostly sunny skies. It will be hot again today. I will point that out. However, again, it's summertime. It's fairly normal. The one thing to note is our high is 93. The normal is 89. It's just slightly above average later on this afternoon. Let's walk you through this high-resolution forecast model. I do want to kind of pinpoint where those storms, or at least when those storms will happen. I do think that much of the afternoon will be dry. Notice that by this evening, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, isolated storms out there. The coverage today is 20%. That means that 80% of you will stay dry. However, if you are the 20% that will see a storm, rain and lightning is what we're expecting, so watch out for that. And it's kind of tough to know exactly where these storms will develop. They're going to be very hit or miss, but they will be out there for your evening commute. And if you are headed out this evening, I'll actually say, while they'll be hit or miss, if you're in the mountains, you definitely have a higher chance of rain compared to everywhere else. Those mountains help to produce storms, so the chances will be higher in the mountains and then getting lower as you travel further south. But that's pretty much the situation for today. Here are your high temperatures. Again, 93 in Atlanta. The normal is 89, so we are above average. Notice that orange up there in northeast Georgia. Those are going to be cooler highs today, only in the upper 80s for the mountains. And we actually have cooler air that's moving in tomorrow, so the high in Atlanta itself will be 89 degrees. And if you're in the mountains, we're looking at like the low 80s. So that's something to point out. There will be a big difference in the weather today versus tomorrow. Today, a lot of sunshine, low 90s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, upper 80s. And we do have slightly higher rain chances tomorrow than we do today. Tomorrow's not a first alert, but your chance of seeing some showers and thunder showers will be a little bit higher with that cooler air moving in from the northeast. Wednesday, 90 degrees, slight chance of rain. And then here's the big change that Gavir was talking about. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are all first alert weather days. That's because of a front that's going to kind of move into North Georgia, maybe multiple fronts. And with the boundary around, that acts as a focus mechanism for storm development. So your chances of showers and storms will be higher Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Definitely have a backup plan going into the beginning of your weekend because of the rain and the cooler temperatures, or the rain and the cool air that's moving in. The cold front, your high's going to drop from 91 on Thursday to 84 on Friday and 82 on Saturday. So I had a lot of complaints over the weekend about it being hot. A lot of people complaining about the heat. This weekend it won't be as hot as it was last weekend. You're going to have more rain out there, but it won't be quite as hot. It'll be humid, but not as hot. So that's something that you can sort of look forward to. By Sunday, it looks like we can bring those rain chances down just a bit with a high of 86 degrees. So let's look at your forecast. Pretty typical summer day today. I hope you guys enjoy it. Next few days will be relatively good. Again, those first alerts won't kick in until Thursday. Thursday, end of the week, it'll be a little rough, a little sketchy, but we'll certainly keep you up to date on the timing of those storms. As we get into the end of the week, because it's so far away, timing of it right now is going to be a little bit difficult. We just know that there's going to be more rain Thursday, Friday, and Saturday compared to what we're seeing now. But as we get closer, we'll be able to nail down that timing for you in more detail. But just know in advance that you may need a backup plan going into the upcoming weekend. So have a great Monday. First Alert meteorologist Ella Dorsey is already working on your updated forecast for Atlanta News First at noon. Until then, you can always get your forecast in our First Alert weather app. We hope you guys have a good day. And until next time, we'll see you soon.
Stay up to date on your latest weather from the largest team of meteorologists in the Southeast. Download the First Alert weather app for hour-by-hour forecasts and join us every weekday at 11:30 a.m. on ANF+. You can also text weather to the number on your screen, and we'll send a link directly to your cell phone.